Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about good old-fashioned procrastinating.
Do you know anybody who does this?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
What?
Because it's easy to kind of slip into the bad habit of procrastinating, especially if you're a little bit overwhelmed, if you've got a lot on your plate. It can be real easy to just, kick your feet up and sit and just, zone out on, Netflix or whatever.
TikTok.
TikTok. Oh, that's yours.
I've gotten bad on it here
Yes.
lately.
And I'm not saying it's, everybody needs to take, some little time to decompress and all that. When I think of procrastinating, I think of it when I know there is something that I need to be doing, but I can't seem to get myself to get going on it.
Yeah.
And usually for me, it's just because I feel overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed pretty easily. And where you sometimes, if you have a lot on your plate and you're getting a little overwhelmed, you're more of a just grit in and dig in and do it. And I am way more of I will just start procrastinating. So
Yeah, I like just to dig in and get it done because I know I got to get it done, and it's going to drive me crazy if I don't.
Yeah, well, we've got some tips today on how to just kind of bust through that procrastinating, and with what you just said really goes with the first one. And the first tip is to really just start with one small project at a time. Because once again, one of my biggest problems with procrastinating is because I'm overwhelmed, and I get overwhelmed because I tend to think of 587 things at one time. So I definitely have that trouble of that narrowing down, and that doesn't help. But I think if you can pick just one thing and drive it home.
Yeah, and I kind of like to even go a little further in than this, is to pick kind of the hardest thing. Because if you pick the hardest thing, everything else is going to be easier after that.
Yeah.
So if you pick just one task and just do it, that's how I like to work. You know this. I like to just do one thing and go through it and I'm done. Go to the next thing, do a thing.
Yeah.
You have 5 million things going on.
Yes, and that doesn't help with it. Well, because it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're trying to think about too many things. And I have taken your advice and done this even recently. I have this project I'm working on where we're just doing a lot of ecological restoration work anyway. And so I had to do monitoring of a bunch of these restoration sites that we're working on. And the thought of getting these all done was really overwhelming. It's been really hot. It's hard work. It's buggy out. There's ticks. There's mosquitoes. It's not always real pleasant. But the approach I took was I picked the grossest, hardest units and I did them first. And so I got them out of my mind and off my plate. Then that way I could just focus on getting the rest done. So I guess I did take a little page out of Scott's book. So if you do have things that are just gnawing at you and that you need to get it done, try not to focus on doing all of it.
Yeah.
Either, and I think your advice can kind of go both ways. Either do the hardest one to get it done and out of your mind and get it off your plate, or if you're having that much trouble taking action, the flips I think could also be true, and do the easiest part first, because if it's easy, then you'll do it. And then once you start that ball rolling, it might be easier to keep it rolling. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess it depends on yourself. You have to kind of learn yourself and see how you like to work. I personally rather just do the hard thing, get it done and over with, and then kind of go out my day. Just because, especially having a landscape business, you got a lot of things going on. So
Sure.
if you can, to me, if I get the big thing done and I don't get anything else done the rest of the day, I still feel like I accomplished something. If I just kind of put it off and then I get busy, get whatever customers calling or whatever else is going on, then I kind of get distracted. And then I feel like at the end of the day, crap, I didn't do anything, that I wanted to. So that's my thoughts on it. But I see your point as far as, get the ball going and just keep it moving forward.
Because I've done that as well. Sometimes when I have administrative stuff to do, I don't really care for office work all that much. And so when I find myself procrastinating on that, I'll pick something easy and just get it done. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I did that. Then I'll just do one more thing. So I guess either way, just, pick something, big or small, and just get it done.
Yeah. Yep. The second one is going to be set realistic goals. And this one sometimes I have a hard time doing. If it's like a project, like a job, I got that down. But it's like setting goals is like when I'm going to get whatever, a video done or something else. It's just hard for me to set goals because I have a lot of things going on. And
yes, you
set
the overly ambitious goals. And then when you don't meet them, it's like, oh, you get hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. One little thing that I've kind of learned, and I think it was from the Brian Tracy book called Eat That Frog. When it comes to setting daily goals anyway, try not to set more than 3 goals for a day.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Because yes, I tend to set 57 and then am annoyed at myself when I don't get them done. You know how that goes. And so, But just be realistic with yourself. You can only push yourself so hard.
Yeah.
So maybe
The other part of it too is like for me, setting the goals is the timeline, like when I'm going to get it done. That's sometimes I don't always meet that. And it's very
What do you
hard.
mean sometimes? Literally never. I'm just saying, let's call Scott out right here with the time management. It's wretched. So anytime that you tell me you're going to do something, I automatically tack on a few hours because you're always like, what? I'm going to get this done in like an hour or two. It is a lie every single time. In the 20 years we've been married, well, almost 19, not 20. But anyway, it's always been a lie. And I know this now. I don't get mad anymore. But
Not anymore.
yeah, but I mean, maybe one of these days that you will realize that you need to
Maybe.
work on your time management. Anyway, this somehow turned into a therapy griping session. Anyway, try to make your goals realistic. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it was from Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog. I really like the just try to set like 3 priorities for the day. Get those done, then you'll feel good about yourself. And then anything else that you get done after that's just gravy. So.
Yeah. Yep. The next one is cutting out distractions. And this one is, I've had to change my habits on this to cut out the distractions.
Put your TikTok away? Is
Yeah.
that one
Well,
of them?
I usually don't do that till the end of the day.
That's,
But like I have to set myself up for like, because, well, with just our $1 Million Academy and Landscaper, there's a lot of stuff we have to put on Facebook and trying to keep up with the business page and stuff, or the landscape business owners page. There's a lot of content we put out there. And if I get myself on there and, you know, answering people's questions and stuff, I can get hooked in there and I'll just be in there for a long time. So I had to like set myself a time limit, like 15 minutes in the morning. That's it. And then I'll come back in the afternoon when I'm done. But it can be a distraction very easily if you get hooked in there and like, man, I didn't get
Yes, I have to sometimes put my phone in another room because I love my friends and I love my sisters, but they will text and call like all throughout the day. And if I don't monitor it, I will get down these rabbit holes of, like I've been texting, I'm in a couple of group texts. And so, then I've wasted an hour just, texting about, random things that are not going to help my business. It's stuff that I could do later. It's not that I don't need to talk to my friends, but it doesn't need to be done during the middle of the day just because they work. Well, because a lot of them work different hours than I do. My one friend, she works evenings. And so she's free during the day. So she's like very chatty during the day, but yet, she's working at night. So it's just different. So.
Well, that and like turning off the sounds from when an email comes in. That's the one thing I found a long time ago was that they used to ding.
Yeah,
so I turn that off because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the notifications on my computer that email came in because then I'll be like, I can just go check that.
Yeah. One thing I've started doing too is I listen to like focus music. Like if I have to sit and work at the computer, I'll have focus music on, like I call binaural beats. I just go onto YouTube and put like binaural beats. It's just like background music, and I'll wear like noise canceling headphones. Sometimes I wear the headphones and don't even play the music. I've got myself trained of like, if I just put on the headphones, then like, don't talk to me. So.
You do. And sometimes I don't know if I should talk to you or not when you're on that. I don't know if you're
We'll
listening.
just go with no. But on the YouTube thing too, but I can't have other like tabs open of YouTube, or I'll sit and watch like Dude Dad and Charlie Barron's like stupid videos. I'll waste a lot of time doing that. So I can't have other tabs open that are nonsense. I have to keep those tabs closed.
Yeah. So just find certain things, that you get distracted by and just find ways to cut them out or limit yourself. And that's
it can be hard. Like if your office is in where everybody is like walking through, that can be hard.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
this is one thing I did when at our shop was I moved my office into a place I was away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I was getting distracted from my other estimator and designer and my dad and everybody else. So I just moved my office into.
Yeah, you may have to just set boundaries with your employees and be like, from, 3 o'clock to 4:30 in the afternoon, unless somebody has cut their leg off or gotten an accident, don't bother me.
Yep.
It's like parenting back in the 80s. Is there blood? Is there there's nobody died? There's no blood? Then I don't need to hear about it.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
you might have to set these hard boundaries.
It's true. It's true.
Because people they're not interrupting you to be annoying. They're just, if you haven't set that hard boundary, they just don't know better. They'll be like, oh, what? I'll just go ask them. Oh, I'll just go ask them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this too kind of goes along the line. I think I did a video on this not too long ago on, what the distractions is teaching your team members to solve their own problems because they're calling you and, hey, I need this broker, this happened. They need to be able to figure things out on their own so they're not distracting you so you can keep focused. And,
Definitely. Empower your employees to make some amount of decisions on their own.
Yeah, because what do they call it? Being a firefighter. You're running from this thing to this thing to this thing. And
right.
some of us take pride on doing that. Like but it's not
Well, yeah, because then you're like, oh, look how hard I worked and I hustled all day and I'm so important and everyone needs me. But
you're not doing the truly important things that you need to do because you're busy taking care of all that.
Just everything else.
Yep.
So, another little good thing to do is just take breaks.
Yeah.
I like to take dog walking breaks if I'm working here at home. Just go walk the dog for 5 minutes, play with the cat.
Yeah. I like to go outside and I pull weeds and pull weeds in the grass, pull the crabgrass up. You know, I don't know. It just kind of
shut your mind off for a second.
I don't have to think about anything. I just pull weeds and that's it, you know. And then, I may think about the project that I need to do, but it's very, I don't know, mind numbing, I guess. And I don't know, mind numbing is the right word, but
not mind numbing. But doing even doing just like mundane little tasks can be in air quotes a break. Yeah, of course, in the middle of the day, you're probably not going to like sit down and put your feet up. But there are sometimes, even when I'm working out in the field, that I actually don't mind doing things that would be like pulling weeds. You don't have to really think about it. Your body you can just kind of do it automatically, and it gives you just like a little bit of time to just rest your brain a little bit. You don't get any like decision fatigue because you don't have to think about it. You can just like let your brain go a little bit.
When I was younger, I used to just go for a drive. I remember like in school and stuff, I would just get tired, burned out from writing a paper or whatever, and I would just go in my truck and drive for a while and then come back and do whatever. Just got to find out what works for you. And
oh, sure. Yeah, but no, there's got to be something. Like I remember working in the winters, sometimes just splitting firewood. Like, is that necessarily what I need to be doing? You know, maybe not. But sometimes, hey, just spending a day, it's just, like I said, it's just kind of, I hate to use mindless because you do have to pay attention so you don't like hurt yourself. But it's not hard. You can just kind of like relax. It's not a hard day. Just kind of take a little break. So. Yep. And our last one here is to find support networks outside of work. Like maybe talk to other people that aren't at work.
Yeah, no, it's true. You have to find, other companies or whatever to kind of vent to, or just talk about whatever your situation is. That's to me is pretty important to do. And it could be family or friends or whatever. You have to.
Well, and I think it's important to have outlets that aren't work related. Like I play in a little folk group with a group of friends. I wouldn't say that we're good or like great or anything, but it's something different for us all to do. It's kind of a little break. It's a chance for us to kind of get together. We can chit chat, we can play our instruments, and it's just kind of like a little break. And I can talk about whatever is, nagging at me, and we're all just there to kind of vent. Like really, I mean, we play folk music, but it's mostly like moms getting together to vent. That's how my bunco group is too. But.
Yeah. Well, I see my dad, he's been doing this so long, and all he wants to talk about is work. And like when we go to company parties and picnics, that's all he wants to talk about. Like, you need to find a hobby, do something else.
Yeah. Even if it's just, something little, like I said.
Well, and like, we would be in like different building associations. So we'd go talk to them and just the interaction with them and, find out what's troubling them and find out, how they dealt with it, and you can relate it to your business as well. So
yeah, I think it's good to have sounding boards of other of people that are even if it's like you said, it's building associations. So it's not necessarily directly landscaping; it's other tradespeople. That's good to bounce things off of and vent. But then again, there needs to be that at least somewhat of a component of something that I think is like not work related at all. Just go ahead and take a break.
Yeah, and this is actually something we actually put out inside the academy. We just put out a quick, when we call them, for our higher level members. They're now the ultimate members, but our higher level members actually have a worksheet that they'll download this week to go through and find out, what's causing them to procrastinate. So you're not making excuses.
It helps you get your thoughts out all on paper, and so it helps you kind of just eliminate some of those excuses.
Yeah, just because we end up doing it quite a bit, and sometimes you just need to step back and look at what you're doing overall and say, okay, I can cut this out, I can stop doing this, or I need to change this, or whatever it is. But
sure,
it's a pretty nice little form you can kind of fill out, and it's inside of our academy for our higher up members.
Yeah. So I think that's it. That's kind of our 5 best tips. We get it. Everybody's stressed out. Everybody's got a lot on your plates. So I wish we had perfect answers. We don't, but these are definitely some of the best things that we have done to just kind of push through when you need that push. Yeah. And just to play devil's advocate, there are times where I've just like stopped because I've gotten too many things on my plate and gotten too overwhelmed, and I have just stopped. And sometimes you have to just like, even if it's like 2 p.m, sometimes you have to know when to call it 2. Because I don't want people to push themselves into burnout.
Yeah, well, everybody, the influencer Gary Vaynerchuk,
Yeah.
he pushes the hustle, 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 and that only gets you so far in my mind. So
You have to have a certain amount of hustle. I'm not
Yes.
going to say that you don't, but it's not the only thing in life. And once again, like back to our $1 Million Academy, this is why we provide systems and everything for everybody, because there are things that you can do to make your life easier.
oh yeah,
So we provide landscapers with all the systems and everything that we use to make our lives easier. So that hustle, 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 even if you're hustling, you can make your hustle easier. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Easier hustling? I don't know. Because we've been doing this lately with our $1 Million Landscaper and $1 Million Academy. I do all of our email writing. So if you've gotten an email 9.5 times out of 10, I wrote it. Scott does
probably.
write some, but I have written it, and I wouldn't call myself a writer at all. And so I struggle with it, but we have started using different platforms that help you with your writing, like AI. It's called Jarvis Artificial Intelligence. So do I still get like a stomach ache sometimes when I have a ton of emails to write? Yes. But have I found a way to make them writing them easier? Yes. So I guess that's a little bit of like a bonus advice there. When you have procrastinating is what can you do to make it easier?
oh yeah. Or is it something you can?
This might be a whole separate, this could be a whole separate podcast. Maybe we
could
should
be.
do that. Like a bunch of tips on things you can do to make your life
I
easier.
like it. Yeah, because
We
there's a lot
hashed
of
it out
things.
right here.
There's a
Stay
lot of
tuned.
things you can do, like hire it out or something. So.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Write that down. We'll do that another time. But anyway, there. Bonus sixth one is find things that you can use to make your life easier when you find yourself procrastinating with things. All right.
I
You
think
ready
so.
for
We
some?
got- yep.
Oh, no, you're going to ask me?
Yep, I've got some.
Got my questions more.
Yep.
End of podcast questions.
All right. What nickname have you been called that you hate?
I never really had a nickname that I hated. I don't have a ton of nicknames. No, my sister calls me Katie Bug, but I mean, that's in no way offensive.
Yeah.
No, I never had like mean nicknames or anything.
Your dad never called you anything?
Well, my dad used to call me his little idiot, and I didn't really care for that. So, so there's that.
We'll change the subject
yeah,
now.
he called me that quite a bit when I was a child. So, but other than that, no.
Okay, next.
Yeah, right.
Sore
Got
subject.
deep.
Have you ever been bitten or attacked by an animal? If so, what and why?
Well, I mean, I've gotten bitten by snakes when I was picking them up, but not like anything big. Like it didn't really hurt. Maybe perhaps drew a little bit of blood, but maybe I shouldn't have been picking the snakes
Probably
up.
not.
We had a pet gerbil. My sister had a pet gerbil when we were kids, and it would bite often. So I've been bit by that quite a few times. I mean, our cat bites, but she's just mean. So just, I would say standard normal things. I don't think I've been bit by anything like, not like a bear or a mountain lion or
Good.
I think the snakes would probably be the most unique thing because not everybody will go around picking up snakes.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, last one. What do you value most in your friends?
I have a lot of friends that like don't hold back, like, and I love that quality in people in general. People that don't dance around anything that they have to say, like they just let it all out. They just like the truth just comes out because I would rather hear that than people who try to just like, oh, be nice and sugarcoat. So I really have a very, very deep respect and fondness for people who just like don't hold any punches. Like,
That's not what I thought you were going to say, but it is true though.
oh, what do you think I was gonna say?
A little quirky, I guess.
Oh, yeah. All my friends are a bit quirky,
Yeah.
just in general. And I do enjoy their quirkiness, but but I think part of it might just be that, like, don't hold anything back. My grandma was that way. Like, whew, God bless her, rest her soul.
You're a little bit like that too.
I know. And some people like it and not everybody does, but I don't know. I just think of Grandma Betty. She just let it out. And so I love my friends that just like let it out.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today and have a great day.